Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I want to first thank all of the thousands of contractors that will be joining us, as well as the few lead generation companies who are joining us to learn different methods and what contractors should not be doing. So we're going to begin to make sure that contractors are realizing this is part 2 of a 2-part series. We began with our first planning for more quality leads, leading into a more profitable job. And this particular webinar is now an extension of planning for more quality leads, leading into a more profitable and a quicker sales process. What we have to remember is we want you to have fun becoming a marketing machine while using your current jobs. More importantly, we want you to narrow the opportunities to only the quality leads and not the tire kickers. It's very easy for you to master the basics for you and your web person to stay on track for these marketing objectives. You have to begin with who is your ideal customer, but you don't want to have it be a question. You want it to be a statement, and it begins by defining your target market. We have to remember the 2 most important things as a contractor is to provide a potential client on what service do you provide, as well as where do you provide that service. It's the biggest misunderstood area of website marketing, where we focus in on what you do, such as kitchen and bath remodeling, and where you do it. All of your landing pages have to have a combination of sharing the details of specifically what you do and the details of specifically where you do that. And we always have the challenge of how do your customers find you, and does your image project your services once they do find you? The original webinar focused in on the first, because you never really know whether the horse is in front of the cart or the cart is in front of the horse. So what we did on the first part of the webinar is the original part 1 of the series, was we focused in on how do your customers find you. And then moving into, once they do find you, what image do you project? In this particular webinar, we're going to now start focusing in on having that projection of a powerful image for your services convert into making it easier for customers to find you. Similar to My Online Toolbox's target market, many times you'll see these ads floating around in various forms and so forth, and you have to realize our target market is not about how contractors spend money on their leads. In fact, the educational classes are a fraction of what the cost is for online lead generation services. The key element is, are you willing to learn marketing or not? Most contractors focus in on the leads that they're going to be trying to get next Friday or possibly next month, but marketing is looking to set you up for life on the types of jobs that you're going to be obtaining 3, 6 months, and 1 year out. So what happens is that you have to remember, when you're searching for more quality contractor leads, the 4 prevailing topics out there to target are the web, pertaining to text, images, video, and mapping. And what will happen is, one of the key ingredients that you have to be a successful contractor in marketing is to remember that every one of your jobs helps you tell a story over time. So you never forget to get pictures, testimonials, and videos pertaining to your job details and focusing around the customer and the location. It's very easy to be able to take testimonials and then embed what's called SEO, search engine optimization, into that phrase up there where you see the word bathroom remodeling highlighted is called anchor text. It's also easy to take a customer testimonial and put the appropriate titles up on top in order to have Google index through YouTube where these videos should be found in search. And the same goes with a picture. Pictures have up to 3, 4, possibly 5 different ways in order to help Google learn who you are. But when you look at the picture, you see that it's optimized, but we have to remember, we're trying to define your target market. In the beginning, when I just leveraged that on the bottom, showing you different ways in order to use what's called search engine optimization, is that we want to take this picture and convert it not just in something that could be found, but when the customer actually finds it, it projects the image that you're looking for. So yes, I can optimize, I can teach you how to optimize how any picture could be found, but what you also want to do is when the customer lands on that page is find the actual image that you're looking to present before they contact you. Keep in mind, the top key sites out there right now, Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Google is able to embrace all of them. Facebook has the social media sharing, and YouTube has the video impact to support what you do and where you do it. Sustainable marketing. Most people view marketing as something that they rather not be doing, but it's very easy to take what you do in your life as a job and convert it into something that's easy to be repetitive, easy in general, and just enjoyable, because name a contractor who is usually not very prideful on the work he does. So why not take that work, capture it in pictures and videos and testimonials, and leverage it to generate the next quality lead that will then convert to a quality sale. Keep in mind, when you're building your website, it's all about content. And when you look at the content and say, well, what can I come up and talk with next? Take your job details, take the different services, whether things go right, whether things go wrong, the materials you need, how you do the job, surround it by the customer, always helping you validate what you do. In writing is a start. Writing and video is even better, but anything from the customer helps you validate everything else pertaining to your job details that's making up the content of your website. But don't forget your job details. Keep in mind, let's use a contractor that we happened to promote on the previous webinar. Here's a gentleman who's an extremely successful contractor putting his website aside. He's now been going through the transition of leveraging his success to make a website that becomes a marketing machine. In the previous webinar, all they happened to have was a porch page, very in summary mode, discussing what they do with porches. But now this gentleman is targeting porches in the future, so his porch page expands on showing not only porches in general, but he wants to narrow the opportunities to get quality leads and eliminate the tire kickers. And of course, having fun while he's doing this. So his porch page has now been expanded where, yes, the award-winning construction company has a landing page and it shows all the different prideful awards that rightfully so he deserves. He didn't have locations that he was focusing in on, and now it's, I'm just choosing Cornelius as the first one highlighted there. He now has a landing page that shows all of the work that he's done specifically in Cornelius. But in order to enhance and entrench the type of porches he's looking to do, if you scroll down on that web page that I'm referencing, and by the way, all of this is accessible on the webinar sign-up page now. You don't have to take notes. As you scroll down, he's now starting to emphasize the screen porches, the covered porches, and the four-season sunroom porches. And as you go through those pages, you're going to see he's now referencing the type of work he does. So when someone says a screen porch, he's able to represent it in the image that he wants to present. He's able to represent the image of a covered porch. He's able to represent the image of a four-season porch. These examples show how someone takes a summary representation of what they do and then keep digging deeper and deeper into that representation. What will happen is, while you're defining your target market, remember, there's a combination of marketing that, unfortunately, I know many of you come here to a webinar on a Thursday, think you're going to get something for free and start getting leads a week later or 2 weeks later. That is not marketing. There are many different ways to be able to pull traffic to your business. Some of it's organic and for free, some of it's paid for. This gentleman that we're looking at here, since those pages just happen to be brand new, as much as the contractor would love to be able to have those landing pages generating activity, he now has individual pages that he could sprinkle a little of what's called pay-per-click advertising, where he could pay to have new leads, finding those pages while he's building those pages to then have organic search or free search point to them too. So keep in mind, it's a combination of, does your image project your services for two ways? One, how do customers find you? And two, how do they view you once they do find you? It's very hard to remind contractors to continue to get pictures, testimonials, and videos, so we want to leverage the lead generation people who are on this webinar here, learning how to figure out different ways to convince you to send your content to them. So every time you see a commercial online for one of the lead home service providers, remind let that be a reminder to get pictures. You get an email solicitation, let it be a reminder to you to get testimonials. You get a phone solicitation, let it be a reminder to help you get videos. So no longer be annoyed by the sheer volume of why they're calling you. Just leverage it as a way to coach you into reminding you to get the content, and just don't give it away. Keep in mind, the lead generation providers, they're going to have these little terms and conditions. Once you learn the value of what that content is and you read those terms and conditions, trust me, you're not going to want to accept them, because that content is what makes you unique in the world. Don't give it away. It's better to take a step back and learn how to leverage it for life, leads that will come to you 3 months out, 6 months out for life, rather than thinking giving it away today will allow you to get some type of activity within a week. Once you have that content, all of the little buzzwords that the SEO specialists and web guys like to know about, called title tags, anchor text, picture optimization, video optimization, it's really simplistic to learn how to leverage, so long as you realize the power of your content is going to help you create this. Or you can give it away to a lead gen company who may or may not be selling leads to your competition if their advertising dollars are spending more than you on any particular day. A simple plan will allow you to remind yourself that helpful content targeted at your audience will allow your website to maintain a freshness that your site is alive and growing, and then simply with that content you will surround it continuously with what's called marketing for search, or the buzzwords of SEO. But look up at the screen for anybody who's listening to me and not looking at the moment. Thank you. Remember, the content wants to be targeted to your audience. Take the most quality representation of what you do, and when somebody lands on a page, whatever that service may be, whatever that location is, go under the assumption that that page is the first page that somebody happened to bump into on the web. And when they do, whatever the topic of that page is that the best image that you could possibly present to this new person who doesn't know necessarily what your reputation is? That is a way to begin to build the value that once somebody like the next gentleman is going to start promoting in a moment with his webinar, how you're able to convert the lead into a real quick quality sale. Remember, who's your competition? There's 3. Direct competitors, really can't talk about them now unless I knew about them. Indirect competitors like the lead generation companies who are just going to try to convince you to give away your valuable content, and your own complacency, which is being eliminated simply because you're taking a moment of your time right now to realize that marketing is planning out for months ahead and not for just next week. The vast majority of you are using website companies that unfortunately are better at SEO than marketing. Many times on their websites, they'll call themselves marketing companies, but unfortunately, they're usually more versed at keyword analysis and web page tech terms, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can't be leveraged for your advantage. There's 2 main topics out there today. One is called responsive web design, which means that your product, your website, is visible. The same website is visible on a desktop, on a smartphone, and a tablet. And then you surround it with these buzzwords called SEO, search engine optimization topics. You're at a crossroads right now where if your website is not working to the way you wish it would for lead generation, because the world is changing so much from a desktop orientation and doing a tremendous amount of search in mobile, tablets, and smartphones, you have an opportunity to start thinking about your images, which I'm changing on the top screen right now for those of you who moved your head down. And what will happen is all of these topics of how you are viewed plus SEO allows your devices that the next time you do a search on a smaller device, look for when you see that word mobile friendly. Usually it's going to be a small, hopefully bigger than the terms and conditions of the lead generation guys who don't want you to see those words, but that mobile friendly will allow you to now start changing your website to represent the best who you are, independent of how they're finding you. When you combine the 2, you now have an opportunity to really attract the targeted audience through the targeted device that they are holding in their hand at that given moment. We're able to help you a few different ways. Obviously, this free webinar is getting you started, and the most popular area of our life is this basic education, online marketing, and website SEO education class that will help you Strengthen your relationship with any of your existing programmers who may be able to take you to the next level once you understand the marketing opportunities too. You will also understand why the lead generation companies want your content, and you're going to be able to strategize whether to enhance your site or simply start fresh because you're at a crossroads to consider that opportunity now. Keep in mind, the lead generation companies are battling for your short-term dollars. And when somebody ever considers, if you just glance at the basic class and you look at the price, it's never a pricing issue. It always happens to be a timing issue of whether you're so focused in what you're going to do next week versus what you're going to do at the end of next quarter. So if you take a long-term approach, the cost is very nominal. However, you have to have the realistic expectations that you're building a plan to start for 3 to 6 months out for the rest of your life. In summary, define your target market. Always remember, is the web page that you're working on combining the topics of what you do and where you do it? Never stop getting pictures, testimonials, and videos, and please don't give it away to the lead gen companies, especially without reading the terms and conditions. Remember to embrace marketing education by understanding the importance of unique content and make it sustainable, because it's very repetitive in your life, and it's easy and fun when you target your jobs as a way to capture what you do going forward. Use lead generation communications to motivate you to get that content up above. Consider both search and the image you present as two independent topics that must meet in order to be able to optimize your future quality lead opportunities. And of course, go visit our site after this at a later time to go to the free planning webinar links. You will see links to the other contractors that are successfully planning where they want to be in the upcoming year. Of course, we encourage you to at least go for the basic education class. We will have on a limited time basis some some savings opportunities that I can't put on the video since they will change on our website in a short amount of time. What I'd like to do is make sure to give an acknowledgement in addition to myself running the My Online Toolbox #1 online education and marketing series. I'd like to introduce Bernie, who's running Contractor Profit Zone, formerly known as Closing Success Systems. He's going to, in a moment, take over, go under the assumption that a quality lead has now come to your door, whether it's by email or calls. At that point, soon as that first connection has been made, all of your marketing efforts have now come to a close, and you're now in a sales mode. That is where your focus is, where you draw a line and say, if the person has contacted me, marketing has come to predominantly an end other than finding out how did they learn of you. And at that point, you're now moving into a sales cycle, which Bernie is going to introduce some real great concepts in order to help you get a more profitable sales close. And I also would like to thank the previous presenters with us of Markup and Profit, Michael Stone and Devin Stone, who their focus in the industry is to help you build a more stronger, profitable business in general. Again, my name is Brian of My Online Toolbox, and again, we would like to bring you back to our website after the webinar to remember that anything I said quickly, the webinar examples are there. Also, some big savings for a fraction of lead generation costs are on our website. We wish you a very successful 3 to 6 months out in changing your life forever in quality leads, and I would now like to introduce Bernie to take it over and to help you close those sales much more quicker. Thank you so much for your time.